I'm so excited for this episode, y'all. Are you all excited?
Couldn't be
Extremely.
happier. I
That's
mean,
right.
The reason this episode started now is because there's two people on here that are fundamentally correct. And you'll notice one is Steve and one is myself. And then there's the others. But through this
yeah.
episode, we'll talk about things that we can relate to. So we won't talk about metal because Kevin and I disagree because that's not real music. And we won't talk politics because we're not on the same page. And maybe we'll find some other things that are some things we can disagree and we'll get nasty. But for now, let's talk sales.
Let's do it.
Who's a better sales guy, you, Steve, or you, Tim?
I'll let Steve answer that one. There's no question.
Tim, seriously, Tim,
Yeah.
Tim, Tim has, I mean, he was my original mentor when it came down to a salesperson. When I looked at what I could become, it was because of Tim. I mean, I've kicked his ass when it comes down to numbers and career,
Oh,
but
that's
Yeah.
he's coming back strong, just to let you know.
I
yeah.
love
I
that.
think when Steve followed me around when we were at the Icon days, he realized how easy it was. So he knew he could do it. So
Tim's like Messi. He makes everything look easy, just throwing it out there.
I actually think out of all of us, Kevin is under the radar the best sales guy because as a salesperson, we're destined to sell you something, but Kevin is not. So you believe him. So like the SE, in my opinion, and tell me what y'all are thinking, but like I feel like the SE is the salesperson. You may like as a salesperson, I get someone on, but the SE, if they show a terrible demo, I'm out. And if
I,
the SE shows something I'm like sold on, then I'm like, you sold me.
I think the SC is a source of truth, and,
Yeah.
and customers view the SC as a source of truth. Like I can't tell you back in my Clearwell days how many times people would look at me and be like, "Rap, you don't need to speak Spike." David Spicer, who was my SC at the time, they're like, "Spike, please tell us really what Rap's trying to say." So I couldn't agree with you more, but I think the fundamental piece that we have is the funnel that continues the conversation, right? I think the source of
Yeah.
truth is always going to be the SC. I think the salesperson, the right salesperson, is tactical enough to understand how to drive the right questions, how to drive the conversation forward. And honestly, if you're a good salesperson, and surprising most people don't do, is just ask for the business.
Yeah. Or learn the product yourself so you can be the SE as well as the salesperson.
Which
Well,
I
I
think
think
so
I think having the dynamic though, oftentimes for me, it's good because as being the sales engineer, right, I'm the one who, I'm the subject matter expert. And so to a certain degree, what they're getting from me is the truth and not the salesy kind of schmooze feel. And so I actually
mhm.
think that dynamic of playing off the salesperson, kind of the, good cop, bad cop type of thing works actually really well. And so for me, I actually kind of like that I'm not necessarily having to be the primary salesperson. I'm really the person there to be almost like the cooler or the closer.
Did you say the cooler?
Yeah, like I'm
Like
there to
like you're cooler than us?
no, no, no. I'm there to kind of
clearly,
like bring the conversation to reality. You know what I mean? Like I'm there to, again, because oftentimes I find that
You're the
salespeople, especially
cooler.
new salespeople, are just going to say whatever they want to get people in the room. Where I'm the one who has to kind of be like, well, let me tell you how this really works.
I mean, you had me at you being cooler than us.
I
You
mean,
were.
obviously, for
You were
sure.
on that, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure, for sure. Except for Tim.
Well, I think with any good salesperson, there's levels, right? I stay in my lane. I'm sure all you are more technically savvy than me, and I actually own a IT resale company. So I pride myself with having people in the room much smarter than me and just knowing when to speak up and when to shut up. That's the problem that Rap has. He never knows when to shut up. So
Tim, I don't know. The conversation we had earlier, I was like, you do know when to have someone smarter in the room. That's why we're here. But
nice. Ooh.
spicy,
Ooh. So
spicy.
so I
I
don't know,
wish
Laura,
people heard our
I don't know
earlier
if you're ever gonna
combo.
get the invite when I cook on the green egg. I'm just gonna bring
Oh,
that
I'll
up.
be there. I don't need an
Kevin,
invite.
Kevin,
I'll be
Kevin,
there.
you're invited.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Source of truth.
Steve,
But, but Laura, I will tell you,
we'll
I
get
will
it.
tell you, I think the interesting piece, if I look at it from a sales perspective, what's really effective is what you said earlier, right? So I do think a salesperson, if they can dive deeper into the technical aspects of a product, adds a lot of value. And
Yeah.
for initial meetings to gain an understanding of what the business flow is and if there's a need, a salesperson should be able to handle that first piece. And then when you go deeper into a demo, I think having someone like a Kevin, who's the technical expert, come in and kind of carve the path of what the truth is.
I
Told
agree.
many
I
times to
agree.
shut up on sales calls by people. They're like, "Rap, we don't want to hear a
But you
salesperson."
don't listen. You don't listen. You keep talking,
But
don't you?
but
I
Tim
try
is
not to.
right. Like one of the biggest reasons salespeople fail is they don't listen. And it's if you read every single sales book, they're all the same. They're just like marketed different and relabeled. But we can go back to like how to influence people, win friends, whatever. They're all the same. They're basically like ask a question and stop, listen, show that you heard them. But as salespeople, we love to be like, so anyway. I mean, I'm doing it right now. Listen how great I am. But you get it. It is like that's the hardest part. I want to ask you if you guys ever experienced like the dilemma between you hire someone that's a great salesperson to they actually are terrible. Because I experience this all the time. A salesperson that I'm hiring for a sales role and you interview them and they're really good at selling themselves. So
Mhm.
the interview is incredible, and you think you just hired a rock star, and then they don't produce it all. Why does that happen? Do you all feel that, or is that just me? Does that only happen to me? It happens to me a lot.
No, no. I mean, no,
Someone
it's been a
it means you
while
can be
since
sold
I've.
anything, Milstein.
What?
It seems like it. I'm buying, but I'm also, how do we, what is it, Marie Kondo? Well, I'll get rid of you real quick. We don't
Yeah.
need this.
Yeah, I've fired quite a few friends. I mean, when you go down the line as a salesperson or a potential salesperson, you got to be able to sell yourself. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to sell others, right? So I mean, even me being back in the game, I was out of my territory for 15 years. I had questions about whether I could get back in it and still do well. But I think the most important thing with that is that you're sincere, like we talked about with Kevin, and that you're genuine and that you have these relationships that foster into friendships. Like I literally had a client, I got off a call today where the client called me and said she was sorry that I got pulled into the situation. Those are
Yeah.
the things that I cherish because that's a 25-year relationship where I got pulled into a situation where I had nothing to do with it. I'm trying to fix it, and she apologized to me. So I guess to answer your question, it's ebb and flow. Some people are great at selling themselves and not at selling other things, but some people are the real deal, and you happen to hold on to those people, and they're successful beyond, their careers.
Yeah. What about like
Yeah, but
tech though?
well,
Oh, go for it, Steve. Yeah.
I think from an interview process, like a good salesperson should sell themselves. But I
Yeah.
think behavioral interviewing and figuring out their track record and how they handle things can kind of weed out what you have. And it was funny. I was on a call this morning and someone was telling me they just heard someone got let go in the industry. And she's like, I get it because lack of follow-up, like demo, and then 3 or 4 weeks later, maybe a follow-up. They're like, Rap, they're just not. I don't want to be a Laura Milstein and praise myself, but they're not like coming after me the way you do, right?
I know you do know how to chase them,
And
Steve.
I think Chase, I think it comes down to the fundamentals, right? That's what I think when Tim and I really started the sales docket, it was to build out this bridge of understanding to younger next generation sales folks of what are the fundamental building blocks to become a good salesperson. Like what do you need, right? Besides the passion and the hunger, there you just don't walk in the door. I mean, your podcast you had was talking about that. Like, can you make a good salesperson a great salesperson? And the answer is you got to start with the basics, right? You can have a great personality, but if you don't know the basics, not going to work.
Do you
Well,
feel
if you
like
don't
that's
want to do the
changed
hard
over
work.
time? Like, do you feel like when you started as a younger person, was your delivery different than it is today? Like, how has that changed comparatively to when you started?
For me, absolutely, my delivery is different from 30 years ago. But I remember when I interviewed at Icon, I told them no one will outwork me, period. No one. I don't care who you have along this line of great salespeople, the top 5% in their industry, none of them will outwork me. And I stayed true to that. And I'm still that type of person today. And on one of our podcasts, we had a lawyer, a friend of mine, who literally all he talked about is you have to do the hard things. You have to put in the hard work. And then those opportunities will come. No, it's changed a bit, but the bottom line
Yeah.
is I still grind every day.
I like the
Yeah,
like old school sale of that. Sorry, Steve, it's my moment. I'm just kidding. But I
When
want to
isn't it
agree
your
with
moment,
that. You're
Laura?
right. You're right. It's just me and the boys today. But I think you're right, Tim. Like it is the grind, and I like the old school thing. People are always like, "Well, tech is so advanced now. No one goes in the office." Like, it doesn't matter. I used to send people cupcakes and write a note that was like, if you trust this cupcake, you should trust me. Random things like
Yeah,
insanity. And
absolutely.
people would respond to things like that. And just because you're not going in the office doesn't mean that we should just have these mass ChatGPT emails. Everyone knows they're bullshit. Spend a little bit of time and actually, I don't know, not copy and paste something. It takes 5 minutes to do some basic outreach. And I don't care if you're the best salesperson in the world. If you're not doing outreach still, if you're not still doing cold calling, you're not a good salesperson. You don't have to be hitting number after number after number, but you should still be calling people. You should still be getting creative. Handwrite somebody a letter. You know, come on, you don't have to send it with a carrier pigeon. We have moved past that, but we don't have to just use AI for everything. Maybe I'm alone on that, but
We've been doing this for 30 years. There are books that we've read, there are classes that we've taken, there are people that we work with that all have different styles and methodology. And I think the good salesperson is picking up what works for them and that hits home to their true personality and incorporating that into the sales piece, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day. And Tim and I have talked about this all the time. Most of the sales are people buy from who they like. It's relationship based. It's building out how to get in front of someone, how to network properly, how to get again back to the fundamentals, which is what we grew up on, right? Are the basics. Like go and meet people and develop the relationship and care
yeah.
about people.
Yep.
So
Kevin, I have a question for you and Tim specifically, because Steve and I are on the same page. I don't even have to ask it to know. But you both are very much like people first kind of people, right? You're nice people. We're here for everyone. You guys probably have a bunch of like unhome people living with you guys because you care so much about all the people, which is lovely and wonderful. And, Steve and I
isn't it?
support that. But our question here is, when you're being so nice and kind to everyone, does that stop you from what you can sell? What I mean is, if you are working at a company and the product is a good product, but there are better products, can you take that job? Can you sell it and feel good? Or how do you feel in that situation? Like, can you only sell if you truly believe in the product?
Don't think you have to be like again for me. I don't. I My policy is I'm not going to lie, right? Like I'm not going to stretch the truth. I will tell you where our limitations are, and I feel like to a certain degree that's one of my strengths. Is when you were talking to me about our products, you're going to get the truth, and so I'll tell you where we win and where we don't win, and I can be honest about that. Where it becomes a little bit is the marketing spin, right? There are certainly places where you can spin a negative into a positive by kind of explaining the long-term value or what have you. And so for me, I feel like that's a different thing. Like this is a workflow problem or what have you. And so for me, I think that's kind of the difference. But I do pride myself on the fact that I'm not going to make stuff up. I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to just get the sale done and then have people be
Okay.
disappointed on the other side. Right?
And
Like
I
I want
agree
people
with
to want
that.
it.
I don't think anyone should just go and completely lie and sell a product that doesn't work. But let's say you're selling a product and I come to you and I say, "Hey Kevin, and you're selling Scotch tape for $5." And I found Scotch tape for $3 and it's a brand I know and trust. Is yours better than this brand? But you know that yours is not better because that brand has been around longer, it's been proven, and you just don't know yet, maybe. Yours is more expensive. Like, what would you do?
Well, again, I think you got to find where you differentiate. Being a new versus an old person, you can be like, we're more nimble, right? We're more flexible. We care about our customers more. Like you can hit on things that are your differentiators, even if fundamentally you are the same, right? Like, again, I work for an e-discovery company. We sell a tool. We are not the biggest. We are not the most famous, but for us, where we sell is on our differences, right? We go down to the niche of, well, our strength is in government. Our strength is in this thing. We have certifications that other people don't. And so there has to be things that you can pinpoint and you can differentiate. And then I think people appreciate those differences, but also
That's fair.
recognizing and saying to somebody like, look, we understand you have a choice and this is why you have to make the choice, and recognize that, yes, fundamentally a review platform is a review platform. It doesn't really matter. But here are the reasons why this one matters more than this thing. And then try to find those little niches. And then people appreciate when you tell them, look, it is what it is.
Okay, well, how about this? And Tim, I need you to step in here because Kevin is not arguable. He's totally correct. He's correct on this. But Tim, what if I offered you a job making triple what you're currently making, but your job was to sell a pill that you know you're selling it because it helps the world. It helps the world. Everybody is so happy about this pill, and you get to sell it making triple your salary. But you know, the truth behind it is there's been a lot of deaths, there's been lawsuits, people have died from this pill. Do you take the job knowing you're going to make triple your salary?
Absolutely
And
not.
okay,
Absolutely not.
that's the right
So,
answer.
so it's funny that you bring this up because, and knows this about me. I have left jobs because of our inability to support clients.
Yeah,
Because, as I said, I've been doing this over 30 years. These clients are now friends. I
yeah,
have literally quit jobs because I'd be in a meeting with a supervisor who I'm there with the relationship with the main person, and they're like, "Well, don't tell him." And I'm like, "Am I on camera? Like, are you guys trying to set me? Because this is a friend of mine.
yeah,
The moment I'm out of the meeting, I'm telling him, and I've done that, and I've left. So, again, it's about integrity, it's about morality, it's about humanity, it's
absolutely.
about all of those things that allow me to sleep at night. So, yeah, I love sales. There's obviously certain things that we do at Repario that, there's other people that have better pricing or what have you, but people are buying from me at this point. I have
Yeah,
relationships with these clients that will pay more to work with Tim because they know Tim's going to deliver on what he says, or if he's not able to deliver, I'm going to let them know.
Yeah, and again, it's a great point, Tim. And I talked about the source of truth, and your word and integrity as a salesperson starting out in any industry. I tell this to my kids. I tell it to anybody that I speak to. Your word is your word. The minute you go and break that word and are untruthful, nobody's going to trust you, and you don't build a customer base that way. So I think at the end of the day, Timmy, you're spot on, right? Integrity has been kind of the tranche of what we've always focused on.
Yeah.
I've had products where I know I sold and the release comes out and it's not ready. And I will
that's the
call my
worst.
clients and I'll be like, can't use it, cannot,
Yeah,
right? So I think at the end of the day, it comes down to integrity is the centerpiece of it all, right?
Well,
Clearly.
and we all know people in this industry that when you bring up their name, they go, I don't want to be that person because it is a marathon and not a sprint. That the bottom line, if you don't have anything positive to say about me, then I don't want it to be negative, right? I'd rather you just go, I don't know the guy that well. I hear he's pretty
who?
decent,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Or that's better than don't do work with him, right?
No,
And
but
we all
you're
know those
right. You're
people
right.
in the industry where you bring up someone's name and you go, ooh, they hired him, they hired her. I never wanted to be that person.
Are we
So.
all thinking about the same person? Don't say it. Don't do that. But we are, right? Just
Oh
There's a
my
lot of
You,
them.
you want to blink it? You want to like?
yeah. We'll sign it.
And I have a question for you
That's
and Kev.
true. That's
I,
true.
I have a
Yeah.
I have a question
Yeah.
for you guys have done over 300 podcasts, which is, I mean, just absolutely amazing. I think
Kudos.
your podcasts are sharp or they cover so many different things. But from a sales docket standpoint, right? When you look at successful people, do you guys find some common traits? I mean, is there something that you've seen over 300 podcasts that you're like, yeah, this, when you get on, you feel it, you see it, you know it?
What are
Is there
you defining as successful people?
anybody who's been on your podcast? Because I'm assuming,
They made it.
right, they got blessed. Right.
So that
Kev, you
means we
want to take
must be
this?
successful, Steve.
There you go,
Yeah.
Timmy. We made it.
I think so. I mean, for us, I think one of the things that we really highlight is like tech innovation. And so the more times we talk to people who are like building a tool, it's a lot of curiosity, right? We have a lot of people who are just like, I found a problem. I wanted to do it. This was like something that I just couldn't sleep anymore. And I just was like, it was just irritating me and I had to fix it. And so for me, it's that like you can tell when you're talking to somebody, like this person's going to make it, whether or not even the tool is successful or the product is successful, because when they're talking about their thing, they believe it. They are passionate about it. They found something that was irritating to them and they solved it, solved a real problem type of thing. And so for me, I think you can feel that and you can hear it. And I do think we get a lot of that. And I actually find those conversations to be the best because, again, even like we have one where the person was like, I failed a bunch of times. And then it was finally that one that really made it. But I didn't stop trying. And I was like, I like those type of conversations.
So passion and
Yeah.
curiosity.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I feel the same. I mean, yes, I think passion and curiosity there. I agree with integrity with you, Tim. Like, I couldn't sell something that I did not believe in. And I think there's been at least three of us on this call that worked for a company where maybe we thought we believed in something and you found out later and you get away. That's how cults exist. And either you wake up and realize you're in it or you don't. Ugh, we would be
Wow.
such good cult leaders here. But with that being said, like to me, as somebody who's done 300 episodes and starting this, that wasn't the intention behind it. When we started creating this podcast, it wasn't to make sales, it wasn't to talk to CEOs. It was just because what we were listening to was either murder pods or things that were like, have you all heard the podcast? My dad wrote a porno.
No.
It's so funny. Listen to it. It's so funny. Season 1 kills.
Okay.
So good. Yeah, it's called My Dad Wrote a Porno, or I think that's what it is. So good. Belinda blinks. If you know what I'm talking about, you're laughing right now. It's so good. It's fire. But we don't all listen to ones on like e-discovery. If I'm listening to an educational podcast, which I love educational podcasts, I like to learn, I like to read, I want to keep mentally stimulating myself. I found that the ones in our industry were so boring and monotone and were just sales pitches. That's what they were. It was like the company owned it and it was their podcast. So it's bias. So when we originally started this, that was our goal, is to not be biased. And sometimes we are. Sometimes we are because we'll realize in talking to someone like I'm fanning you. This is a great
Right.
thing. And other times, like if you actually listen to all our episodes, there are many episodes where you'll hear us be like, wasn't my favorite. Didn't like this. Even to people that I'm talking to you now, and you go back and listen and you hear me insult you. It's not necessarily personal, but it is like when we bring you on the podcast, we are very clear to say, we're not company owned or sponsored. This is our company. This is our stuff. And we want to give honest perspectives because I don't want to listen to an episode and feel like it was just a sales pitch. And a lot of times it naturally does become that because we get interested and they may not be trying to sell us. We're just talking, but now I'm interested.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, the passion drives our interest to it and the innovation, but sometimes we bring someone on from a product that I think the company is so cool, and then the person just makes me hate it. I'm like, this was so horrible. People are really weird, and I think you learn that because podcasts bring on a lot of like narcissism. Everyone loves to talk about themselves, and I don't know if you guys feel this when you're doing your podcast, but I try to stay humble. I love myself, sure, but I'm not doing this for fame. Let's be honest. And I do feel like a lot of the people that come on, you have to hope that you're getting genuine, real people, and they're not just there to talk about how great they are, because that also ruins episodes
Mhm.
for sure.
I love it.
So,
Yeah.
so the tech pod, so it's not, I know you guys focus on cyber and e-discovery and all the things that kind of fall within our realm, but are you guys interested in technology outside of that space?
Yeah, I mean, name a technology that's outside of the space. Like we brought on a CEO of a company where they developed where you could put on these earbuds and I can
Mhm.
speak to you in French and you could speak back to me in French and it will talk to me in English. Different things like that. I'm really trying to get Roomba to come back on to be like, is this really a robot? Like, come on. It gets stuck everywhere. Can we break this down? So yeah, I think we sometimes try to find niche technology, but we are so heavy in the space and our interests are like, I love a cyber podcast. It's like dirty talk to me, you know? Just like when you brought that green egg, I was like, oh, So
Yeah, and I
Well, I
agree. I mean,
have,
for me, I like it when we find somebody who's got a product that is kind of neat and cool. Like we have one recently about like a space telescope, and so for me, like those are kind of fun because it's almost like we're having a conversation that I never thought I would have. Right? Like for me, like the e-discovery ones, the cyber ones, those are conversations that I like having because I like this industry, but at the same time, I like talking to people who I would never otherwise get in front of. And so for me, I think that's really what the pod has really done is it'll draw in people that our worlds otherwise would never overlap.
I have a question. So it just an interesting story. So my son called me yesterday and he was a little freaked out about what's happening with technology. I want to bring it back to the whole tech world and AI
yeah,
world and MCPs and everything that's all going on. And he's just like, what's going to happen to me in 3 years?
that's a good question.
And so my question is really to Kevin and you. Again, 300 podcasts, you're hearing a lot of information. Like what, again, younger salespeople, sales engineers, they're
Don't
looking
go
at the
into tech.
future.
Don't go
Huh?
into tech. I'm gonna say I think Kevin and I are probably opposites, but I wouldn't advise going into tech now because AI is so advanced that when it's like, is AI replacing your job? I understand that we say no, and no in the fact that like you still need people to monitor that. But yes, it is.
Mm.
At a certain point, you no longer need a consultant. Claude can do literally everything for you.
Yeah.
You don't need so many things that I do ask that same question as your son is where will we be in the next 3 years? Because to me, trades. I honestly, I need an HVAC person. I need a carpenter. I need a plumber.
Mhm.
I need a painter. Like these things, AI is not replacing. But AI is so advanced that I don't need half the products that are for sale anymore. I need somebody who knows how to go in and be like, Claude, make me this app in 5 minutes, and the app is then made. I don't need to pay developers anymore to do those things. So to me, a trade, which sounds really totally not what I would have said before, but I
Yeah.
would say look at trades if I was younger. And what will people like us do, you guys? I don't know. Beg your son to hire us to manage the books that the trade company he owns. Like, I don't know. Kevin, are you feeling completely opposite of me on this?
I am to a degree because I think because of the thing we said at the beginning, right? The thing that really differentiates people who are good at this and who are not are the soft skills. And so for me, I've really tried to kind of help my kids develop the soft skills, right? My daughter's, she's going into science. Like I have no idea if science is a good field. I've never really been in it, but I'm telling her still do the things, right? Like network with your colleagues, talk to your folks, like go to the
Yeah.
meetings, ask questions. Like I was like, if you show up to a meeting without a notepad, that's a problem, right? You need to walk in and take notes, do the fundamentals, because that's how you get ahead.
That's how
Talk to
they
the people.
hire you
But
when
but
you're a
100%,
trade.
like I was
So
like, well,
Kevin,
go and build a network of people at your job and take them out to coffee, right? Everybody is willing to sit with a young person and spend 5 minutes, and so buy
Not
somebody a
everyone, I'm not going to
coffee.
do that.
But
Not
but
gonna
I
do
mean,
as
that.
like if you're telling me if a college kid came up to you and said, "Can I buy you a cup of coffee and let's chat for 10 minutes?" You wouldn't at least consider doing it. For me, I think that's a really important thing. And so
Probably
it's
not.
trying to make my kids get out of their comfort zones because my kids don't necessarily want to talk to people. They are a little more awkward and they don't have those soft skills. And so for me, it's trying to develop those things because I think they can still go into tech. They can
I
still
think
go into
that's key.
science as
I
so
long as
Kevin,
they can
I
do the
think they
other things.
can too.
so
I'm just
Kevin,
saying, would I
right, so
advise them in the
if your
same
son was a
way?
sales engineer today, right, and we're beginning to see orchestration layers that can completely eliminate that position, what do you tell him?
In my mind, find things that you do differently and better than other people, right? For me, I can explain
Carpentry.
technical things to non-technical audiences better than most, right? Like
Got it.
I think that translation layer is something that I really do. I can do it almost for any software. I don't really care what the tool is, but I can take something that is a very technical thing and distill it down to the value of why you should be doing this or why you should be doing that.
I
And
love
so
that.
for me, like that's the thing that I think I do better than other people. And so you're not going to be able to replace that. Like
Other
I
people.
well, I mean, yeah, no, I do think that. Like, I think even my own sales engineers, I tried to kind of get them to understand that we each have our own strengths that we bring to this process. And so sometimes having two people in the room is better than one because if I say it one way and you don't get it, then having another person in there to kind of say it a little bit differently is important.
I'm
Mm.
gonna learn
No,
woodwork for
no, I'm
sure.
gonna hate to say this, but Laura, I do agree with you because I'm talking to my son right now about being
Thanks, Tim.
an electrician. But on the same note, I also agree with Kevin because if we don't teach our kids or the younger generation these soft skills, I cannot tell you how I went from selling copiers to working at Icon to getting into IT space to getting back into e-discovery, that was all relationships. All relationships.
Absolutely.
People I
Absolutely.
called, I how I got to Repario was I called Dante, who I knew for 25 years when he was Rapp CSR, he was the CRO now, and I was selling him my business, reselling software to Repario, and he said, "Hey man, what are you doing? I need reps. Won't you?" So I believe in what Kevin's talking about is that
Yeah.
having those soft skills, which if you can excel in, people will want you no matter what you do.
No,
So as
Tim, I'm not doubting that. To be
okay,
clear, I agree 100%. If
okay,
you are not networking, even you can be the most introverted person ever, relationships matter. You get into
Absolutely.
a car accident, you have no one to call, and you realize how lonely it is. I'm thankful that hasn't happened to me, the car accident, or anyone to call. But in a real way, relationships 100%,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I'm just saying go into science, and I'm air quoting because vague, it's like a consultant. All these things vague. Go into these fields, go into history, go into tech, go into whatever you want because you're gonna need those relationships for them to hire you when you're in carpentry because everyone's getting a home one day. That's
Well,
all I'm saying. I want tech to thrive. I want tech to be bigger and better always. But I also don't think I would advise people to get into it. It doesn't mean I think get rid of the soft skills. It doesn't mean I say crawl into your home, give up, just get a lawnmower and start a landscape service. No, do that on the side. So that way, when tech does die, you can have all of those relationships you built and be like, you still need your grass cut though, right?
See, but though, would you advise somebody to go into e-discovery or legal services, right? So
No.
today, so for me, I say to people, just understand that if you do, it's going to be hard, right? Like I'm honest with people. I say, look, you just have to be the best. You have to go. If you're going into law school today, you have to be the best lawyer ever
Well,
because the
okay, wait,
competition is going to
Kevin,
be
I would
killer.
actually argue here. That's different. I wouldn't advise people to not go into law. I would maybe say don't go into e-discovery sales because it's kind of saturated. It's a different market. But I don't think things are going away. I just think there are specific or fully going away. I just think it used to be like everyone right out of college can go get a job at Deloitte or
right.
KPMG or Booz Allen. And now you're seeing mass layoffs at these companies because the technology is so advanced that they really don't need that many people. So what I'm saying is before it kind of got to a point where college is the best. Then it was like, or go to General Assembly or one of these coding schools. This is where it's at. I'm saying, in my opinion, if Steve Rapp's son came to me and said, Mama, talk to me, I would say, not your mom, but maybe look at a trade unless he's not handy. I don't know. And I don't mean that in like any negative way. I just think we undervalue some of the blue collared skills that can't be replaced by AI and fixate so
Absolutely.
much on how powerful it is to be in AI and underestimate, well, are you really needed? Yes, to your point, Kevin, be the best. Yes, to everyone's point, network. But we're all the best on this call, and someone or something could still replace us.
So my answer, and I think it falls in line with Kevin, is if you understand something technically at a level that other people cannot, and you can explain that to people, you will have a job forever because no matter what industry, and I didn't say you have to stick in this industry, but a sales engineer, if you dive deeper into the product and understand every nuance of that, and you can explain that to someone and they can use it, you will have a career for the rest of your life. But you have to take that step. Like you have to be curious. You need to dive deeper than you have been. So again, he knows a lot of products, but one of the products he knows it, but he doesn't know it deep enough. I'm like, you need to know it deep. You just that's the
Is
key.
is he
And,
handy though, Steve?
oh, he's a Rapp, Milsk.
So I'm just saying.
So he takes
Um,
after his mom.
exactly. But I
But I
do
mean,
so.
like
So I'm
that
with
piece is
Kevin, right? I
important.
think I think this is an. I think you build a skill set, and that could be transferable. It doesn't mean you have to go start mowing lawns. I think technology. There's always going to be technology platforms, and yes, there will be technology that gets replaced, but the human factor and that human piece, I believe it's always going to be there. And in the legal industry, I think it takes so much longer to actually affect change because of the building models and everything that's going on in the space. I'm like, you got some time. It's a great question.
Some time, but it is something to ask. It is something to
I thought it
consider.
was great
And
that he
even
did.
lawn mowing, after I said it, I was like, wait a minute, I can now just buy a lawnmower, it does it itself. Like
Right. You
now
got
they
a
have the
robot.
Right.
so
Go
yeah,
all over the golf
Yeah.
can't do
course.
that trade anymore.
It's a fascinating. It is fascinating. Thank God I'm old. I'm
Well, no, I mean,
getting up.
for me, again, I have college kids, right? And so for me,
Right.
like, it's an interesting thing because I said to them, like, when I graduated from college, everybody got a job. There wasn't a question.
Right.
Now, when you go to college, part of it is
Like,
figuring out what you're
where
going
do
to
I
do on
go?
the other side, right? Like, if you're going to go into something that is hard, be the best at it. If you're going to go to a club, make friends with everybody. I told my daughter, even just simple things like when you're like in your room, leave your door open, right? Like
Mm.
somebody will walk into your door to have a conversation with you that they're not going to do if the door is closed. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
talk to
just invite
people.
the strangers on in.
Well, no, I do think, again, it goes back to the curiosity thing,
Stranger
right? Like
danger.
talk to people, have those conversations, figure out what you can do and where you can plug in.
Yeah. Kev, you're spot on. And I think in the world of social media and people just staring in their phones 90% of the time, I think it's up to us as leading the next generations to get their eyes off the phone, engage with people, get back to the
100%.
basics. I mean, we talk, Tim and I talk about this all the time in our sales docket is there are basics. There is basic humanity, going back to Timmy's, that you need to engage in and understand. And I think the next generation's got a lot on there. I mean,
I agree.
I
I
would not
agree.
be a college kid today.
No, I agree. And as we all know, not to bring religion into it because I won't, but everyone really needs a carpenter, and I kind of need one right now, you know? So if you are listening and you're a carpenter, please reach out to me. Thanks.
Well, I don't think those skills are ever going away, but I don't think you have to give up on the idea of going to tech. And,
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. And so for me, like my son is really curious about tech and I want him to know that he can do it. He just
You
got to
can
be
do
curious.
anything, kid.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I do tell him that. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
again, like that means you got to spend the time. You got to put the cycles in and you got to learn everything. Like, you can AI the shit out of it. But if you don't know the basics, if you don't know what you're doing, somebody else is tell this to do it for you. And so,
Mhm.
Yeah. And again, I think in the space that we're all in, sales is a skill. And scale that sales skill is transferable into any industry you want. Everybody's going to need revenue generation. Everybody. So, Laura, when you sit there and say don't get into it, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that because I think there's still huge opportunities in the space and learning that skill. Like my daughter's at EDAI, she's learning a skill, she's killing it, transferable at any time she wants. She's been in the cybersecurity
And
space,
that's fair, just like carpentry. That's all I'm saying
100%,
is it
100%.
depends what you're going for.
Right.
I also think fundamentally, if we're talking about children to adults, when you think about kids, they are sponges, right? They're all they do. They're so annoying because there's just a million questions. You know, why does this do this? But why? Why? As adults, we have egos and we already know why. I think a lot of times we need to remember to step back and ask the same childlike questions. Get curious, ask questions even when you think you know the answer because Kevin's answer to the same question I'm going to ask you, Steve, or you, Tim, might be completely different than the way you both answer it. And Tim,
Great.
do you have kids?
I have three.
Oh my, what a gross group on here. Thank you. I'm really happy that y'all have children. Keep the world going.
Yeah.
Steve, bust out a few more so we can kind of counteract their kids because I don't intend to do that at all.
It's a shame. We're missing out.
Oh, yeah, truly. My kids, that's why I can't have any. They would be so good. They would have so many traits, so many skills.
Oh,
You have your
Another,
hands full, I can tell you that.
that's
oh, no
Uh,
doubt. I'd love to see
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but I would also have an incredible home because my son would be an amazing carpenter.
There you go.
That's awesome. I love
Well,
it.
we've talked for forever here. Any last
Good.
thoughts that y'all have? Anything that like for people that are just like, God, why did we listen to this episode that you want to like tell them? I just want to say thanks, y'all.
Yeah,
Well,
I
yeah.
think this has been a phenomenal. I mean, I love that you guys are helping us on our journey into the podcast world. I mean, you're veterans to what we're doing, and I think Tim and I again wanted to do this as a kind of pay it forward attribute, right, and help salespeople of the future. But so thank you both for thinking of
Yeah,
this and
thanks.
bringing us together.
We'll
Oh, can I
collaborate again as some
wait,
people.
y'all, don't leave yet. I want to tell you all a sales story real quick that just hit me.
Okay.
It just happened to me. The other day somebody rang my doorbell, this kid, and he was real spunky. And he was like, "Do you need service for pest control?" And I was like, "Nah, dude, I'm good." And he was like, No, because it's South Carolina. He was like, "Everyone here has pests. Hire me to do pests. I do Susie's house down the street all the time." And I was like, I like my pest guy. I'm not fucking changing. This dude is so spunky. He really pissed me off. And I was like, and I hate that neighbor. So he leaves. The next day, there's like a Facebook group for our neighborhood. There was like this dude is lying, telling people, going door to door that he's selling my pest, that we do his, he does our stuff. We don't know him. It's a scam. The next day, after reading this, someone shows up at my door, another little kid. He looks so defeated. He's not spunky at all. He was like, "Hi, my name is whatever. I'm selling pest stuff. Yeah, I know you don't want it." And I was like, "Actually, I'd like to have a conversation. Do you work at the same company as this guy?" And he was like, "No." and I've come to every house and they hate me because of him. And I was like, cool, I would love to talk to you, and signed him up because honestly, I don't really care about my past guy. And he was honest. He was like, no one wants to work with me. And I was like, well, what are you offering? They're spraying the home. It's the same spray no matter where you go. But the first guy was so arrogant. He felt like a typical annoying sales guy that we all want to hang up on. Where the second guy was just like, dude, I'm just trying to do my job. And like our shit works. Do you want bugs or not? And so sometimes I
So
just want to go back to
that's
that, like
that's Tim and
honesty.
my sales style right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go. And Tim's like, yo, if it works out, it works out. Right,
Yeah.
Tim?
Yeah. So
That's great.
That's
That's
right.
yeah.
funny. No,
That's
Yeah.
but again, it's funny. I many years ago, when I was in Israel, I was looking for a job, and the guy that hired me, and I was selling like knives door to door, and he looked at me.
Classic.
You know what he said to me? He said, "You know why I'm hiring you?" He goes, "You don't even speak the language, but you know what people always like to do? They like to help someone out, and you have a disability,
It's
so
true.
you don't go out and
It's
sell to
true.
people, and try to speak some Hebrew that you can't, but people are going to buy from you because they're going to try to help you." And I think that's kind of what you just talked
It's
about.
literally what just happened. Yeah, I was like
Been
this
happening
poor guy.
my entire life
yeah.
is the disability of Steve Rapp. People have been buying from me. It's great.
So that's the goal of today.
That's
What
the
we've taught
key.
everyone is
Yeah.
if you can't make a sale, just just ask. To Steve's point earlier, just be upfront. Like, please help.
Yeah,
Ask for help.
that's
And
Ask.
it.
somebody's gonna say yes. Wow,
Love
this changed my life today.
I like it.
it. Anytime.
We figured.
I'm gonna go make a sale right after this
Let's
call.
go.
I'm gonna go ask for some help.
Awesome.
Wow. I feel for you, Kevin. 300 of these with her? I feel for you.
It's a
Okay,
lot.
Tim, would you just like cool your tits? You've been obsessed with me the whole
Oh,
episode.
God.
Chill. I'd love to meet your egg.
I say to people, you either love Laura or you hate Laura. There's no middle
There's
ground.
no, if
Oh,
there's a middle
They're,
ground, something's off.
they're like,
Yeah.
no, I have an opinion of Laura.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you hate me, it's okay. I love me.
Honestly, she will use that as a reason to make you love her. She will beat
Even
you
better.
down until you love her.
Kevin
this
just
was
says this
good.
because he hated me at the start, and look at him now. Look at him
Oh,
now.
A
dude.
lot of love. I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
This was great. Thank you guys for inviting us.
Yep.
Thanks for doing this with us. Having like
Absolutely.
a collab pod is the best. So
Yeah,
if
this
you're
is great.
listening and you're like, what sales podcast? Obviously, the Sales Docket. If you want a podcast that's going to change your life on everything but sales, that tech pod.
That's right.
Beautiful. Thanks all.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys.